Like Walter said, I'm the editor-in-chief of Make magazine. It's a technology project magazine. And one of the great things we learned after we started it was how much families respond to the magazine. We thought it would mostly be mostly a male magazine interested in building robots and race cars and rockets. But it really turns out that parents and kids like to work a lot with the projects in the magazine. Next slide, please. So Make right now, we have about 125,000 readers. It's growing. That's a small number. We expect that there is a much larger potential audience out there. If you look at the magazines in the 1950s that were publishing do-it-yourself articles, Popular Science, those kinds of magazines, they had circulations of like 5 million. And we think for a variety of reasons, the do-it-yourself movement is really going to take off in a big way. We have an annual event called Maker Faire. There are 3 large ones held in the United States every year in San Mateo, Detroit, and New York. The San Mateo one was just last weekend. We had 100,000 people come to it. We have makers from all over the world. It's like a science fair on steroids. All sorts of really cool, amazing, innovative projects that we see there. And we call the readers of Make magazine broad spectrum enthusiasts. And what we mean by that is that they're interested in a lot of different things. They're not just specialists. They're interested in, creating an automatic door for their chickens. They want to create a robot that will learn from its environment and learn how to navigate it. They want to learn a lot of different things because the variety of tools and services available to them are just exploding now, and for reasons that I'll explain as we go on. Next slide, please. I wanted to present a few of the projects that are in the magazine to give you kind of a flavor for what the kind of innovations available. So one of our contributors, his name is Larry Cotton. He's a really great broad spectrum enthusiast. One of the things that he likes to do is take photos of songbirds outside his window in his front yard every day. But as Murphy's Law would have it, the birds are always behind the bird feeder, making it difficult for him to take pictures of the birds. If he goes out there into his front yard to try to get around the bird feeder, the birds get scared and they fly away. Next slide, please. And so what he did was he created could I have the next slide, please? He created okay, there we go. Okay, I got the controller. That's great. He put a motor on the top of the bird feeder that is connected to a standard remote control. And so now he can slowly turn the bird feeder from his front window, and the birds don't seem to mind. As long as there's food available, they can go for a little merry-go-round ride. And then he was, turning around and snapping pictures. He took it one step further and put a camera in his front yard and attached another servo to the camera to press down on the shutter. So now he's got a camera right there right there near the bird feeder. He's got the automatic control, so he's using his remote control, snapping those great pictures of the birds you can see on the right. And so this was a product that's not available commercially, but that someone has the tools to make with easy, inexpensive materials that are available to anybody. So this is just one small example of the things that ordinary people are making. Here's a fellow who, like me and many of you probably, cannot stand the sound of an alarm in the morning waking you up. But this guy knows one thing will get him out of bed in the morning, and that is the smell of cooking bacon. So this bacon alarm clock is just a regular incandescent light bulb and a tray of bacon, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, the light bulb turns on, and that smell gets him out of bed and in the kitchen. He's ready for work. Again, a product that's not available commercially and probably wouldn't be legal for safety reasons, but, this guy's taking the chance. Here's another guy who likes his tea in the morning. He presses down he puts the tea in the cup, but he forgets to get the tea out, and then the tea's oversteeped and ruined because he's off doing other things. So this is just a tea bag popper he made from a toaster element. You press the lever down, and it steeps the tea for 2 to 3 minutes, and then pops up. And then when he comes back, the tea is ready to drink. This is an interesting project that's in the magazine. My friend Mr. Jalopy made it. He calls it the world's biggest iPod. It's a 1940 stereo cabinet, and he put a Macintosh computer in it and attached an iPod to it. And so now when he goes around, he goes to garage sales every Saturday, boot sales, and he buys a lot of LPs, vinyl LPs. And when he puts a vinyl LP into this machine that he made, it automatically digitizes it and copies it to the hard drive and to his iPod. And the buttons on the stereo cabinet are all wired to operate the Macintosh, so that now as he adds each album, it records it to his hard drive. So then he's got this giant library building up. And those LP records are old, and they have the pops and the clicks that he likes that sound. It kind of adds a warmth to it. So this is another product, not commercially available, but you can go out there and make it from parts that you find and scrounge together. One other example, everybody has VCRs. It's a piece of technology that nobody really needs anymore. So either they end up in the trash or they're given away, or to a lot of people, they're like they're like a hackable platform, because they have a timer circuit and a programmable timer. So this guy sets the timer to turn a motor that dispenses cat food through the sausage grinder into the bowl 2 or 3 times a day while he's at work. Automatic cat feeder. Water rockets. Rockets are a really popular thing in the magazine. This is a rocket that's made from a soda bottle, plastic soda bottle, and it's powered by water. It shoots about 100 feet into the air. I have a video, and hopefully it will work. Can you make the video play? I'm not sure.
Okay, guys, that looks good.
That's a little. We want 100 pounds, none of that wimpy little 60s stuff.
How much do you think this thing will hold?
Is it strictly more propels?
I mean, it's a... The bottle is rated at 100, I think. Insert the retaining pin. Get the clip on. So we're going to go for 70 pounds. Zooming in.
Get out of there, get out of there. Perfect.
And so that's a pretty cool project that you can make for, $20. Just some plastic, a bike pump, and a few odds and ends. Those are the kinds of things that are in the magazine. And that has gotten, a lot of people, including some of the folks that make, to start thinking about what school could possibly be. So imagine a school where kids could do the following. Clone jellyfish DNA. Build gadgets to measure the electrical impulses of cockroach neurons. Make robotic blackjack dealers. Design a machine that can distinguish between glass, plastic, and aluminum beverage containers and sort them into separate bins. Make a floating water pollution monitor that wirelessly transmits readings. Or make a robot that can sense intruders and fire plastic darts at them. This isn't the kind of school that is going to teach kids to do that. The problem with a lot of today's schools is that they train kids to be scholars. They're always preparing kids. So that kids are, they're learning how to research things through books and the internet. They're writing reports about what they learn. They're learning math as abstract concepts, not through practical knowledge. And so kids are always preparing to do things, but they're not actually doing anything. Could I have the next slide, please? So the idea is to create young makers instead of young scholars by giving kids hands-on experience, the kinds of stuff that the kids here today are learning. There's a lot of research that shows that the brain actually develops when kids are younger by using their hands. The more they use their hands, there's kind of a neural connection that makes the brain more complex. And the more that kids use their hands, the better their brains develop. And this isn't really a new idea. Friedrich Froebel, who was the creator of kindergarten in the late 19th century, before he called it kindergarten, he called it the Play and Activity Institute. And he created kindergarten as a way to meet children's needs for things like physical activity, develop their senses, help them express themselves creatively, explore different ideas and concepts, and then different kinds of social activities and satisfaction of the soul. And so he created this curriculum by creating these little wooden boxes that contained what he called gifts, and they were numbered like 1 through 10 or 1 through 20 or something. And each gift had a physical object in there that was designed to introduce the child to a concept about the physical world and get them familiar with things in the physical world, like color, shape, number, symmetry, proportion, those kinds of things. Get them familiar with that. Instead of just reading a book and being distanced from it, it's an unmediated experience, which is so important for kids. And I saw this just at Maker Faire last weekend. Kids would go crazy for these blocks, and they love building things out of blocks and structures. I saw that just today when I was giving the little brushbot workshop. The kids were like putting together the robots in ways that I had never imagined they would before. And I learned a lot from them, actually. It was really great. We had this thing where kids could build anything they wanted at Maker Faire. So somebody designed an ice skate that had a pencil on the end of it so that they could write and ice skate at the same time. Radiation-powered flippers, all sorts of crazy stuff. And it wasn't just kids. I met this guy there, his name's Scott Weaver. His only tools, the only thing he had on the table was a knife, some glue, and several boxes of toothpicks. And the stuff he was making was amazing, just beautiful. He's been doing these kinds of things for 35 years. This is a model of San Francisco. And he's just this guy that works in a grocery store and does this as a hobby. And there were people like just swarming him, and he was delighted that people were even paying any attention to him at all. He did not realize how great his things were. I asked to take his picture, and he said, wait, he said, let me get my costume on first. And so there he is. He's a great guy. And so, just making things, the way really to learn, I think, is through projects. And so NASA has this thing about making a kite. And really, there's a full curriculum in building a kite, because what you learn geometry when you make a kite. You have to learn about the weather. You learn about getting comfortable with materials. Do you use paper? Do you use mylar? Does it rip? Does it warp the wood? You learn how to use tools. A lot of kids today don't even know how to hold a screwdriver properly, or a wrench, or how to tighten a crescent wrench or anything. And it's really unfortunate that they don't know how to do that. Getting them introduced to it at an early age gives them that familiarity with it, and it gives them a sense of self-efficacy to start being able to make things. The world becomes less intimidating and more open to exploration. Once you make something, say you make a piece of furniture, Gaver Tully is going to do a chair-making workshop. And a lot of those chairs are going to be mistakes and failures, which is a good thing, because those kids now are going to start looking at the way chairs are made in the real world. It makes them much more observant at the way things are made in the world. So anyway, there's other things you learn. You learn about composition. When you document a project, you have to write about it. You learn about the history of kite construction. There's a fantastic story about kites and how they were made and how they were used for purposes other than just recreation. And you learn about aerodynamic forces too. A complete curriculum in making a box kite. So there are a number of programs out there to help kids and adults learn about making and learning by doing, because I think a lot of traditional schools are just not listening. They're too entrenched in the system that they're working in. And the kind of people who want to teach DIY are DIYers themselves, so they want to do DIY education. They want to just do an end run around traditional schools and say, forget it. we're not going to petition them or try to make them change. We're going to just have after-school and weekend programs or unschool or homeschool our kids and do it our own way. So Young Makers Program is something that Make Magazine is behind. We're working with a variety of organizations to bring making into school so kids can learn how to make go-karts, they learn welding, they learn how to make robots. Gabe Tully, the guy who spoke, I'm sure he went over all the different things that he does with kids. A fantastic example of what can be done when you let kids kind of run the asylum. The Henry Ford Learning Institute is based in Detroit at the Henry Ford Museum. It's a high school in the museum, and they're trying to clone what they're doing, a kind of design thinking approach to public schools. So in the few minutes that I have left, I want to show some opportunities for learning by making that anyone can do. There's a lot of different social networks for making things, which is really cool. If you think about, just a few years ago, if you were interested in doing something, for example, if you wanted to make your own amateur unmanned aerial vehicle, like a homemade Predator drone, the chances are if you went around your neighborhood and knocked on doors and asked people if they had ever made their own amateur unmanned aerial vehicle, they would think you were nuts. But if you go online, you will instantly find thousands of other people who are interested in doing it. And not only are they interested in doing it, they're interested in helping you make it yourself. So DIY Drones is a place where people hang out and they share videos and information on how to make this stuff. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that high tech. Here's just some photos of some of the different drones that are made and some of the videos that can be seen from these kind of vehicles. They're really cool. One of the things I like to do is make guitars and musical instruments that use cigar boxes as the body. And cigar boxes are nothing new. They've been around for 100 years. But the innovation curve for cigar box guitars has been very flat for the last 95 years. But as soon as they came online, it just shot up because there's all these different people getting together and sharing ideas. And when people get together and there's no geography to keep them from being apart, but they're all together online, they're sharing videos and stuff, the innovation goes crazy. And people are building all sorts of wonderful cigar boxes. Here's a few that I've made, and an example of a guitar box violin that somebody made there in the lower right-hand corner. And then there's hacker spaces where people can meet in person and kind of do that same thing. There's hacker spaces all over the world. I've found them in U.S., India, Egypt, Iran, Pakistan, Kenya, Myanmar, a lot of places you wouldn't expect. People are making things and getting together in groups, kind of like clubs where they pay a membership fee. And they learn so much from each other when they do it that way. Tech shops is another level up where they have really high-end equipment, and it's kind of like a gym membership. You pay a little bit of money, and you can make all sorts of things. And people are actually starting viable businesses by starting out a tech shop. The opportunities with software are really taking off, too. When I started out as an engineer, the CAD/CAM software was like $10,000. Now you can download Google SketchUp for next to nothing, or nothing really. Google SketchUp's free, or you could buy something like a Libre for $99, and you can design your own stuff using this 3D software. And then you can upload your models to a digital model library so other people can download it. And then you use a 3D printer like iMaterialize has, and you can print out eyeglasses or gears or other things like that. It looks like I'm out of time, so I'm going to end it here. But thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.